My dear friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Olga and today we're going to make one more plant-based, gluten-free, soy-free, refined sugar-free baked cake. This cake also was made like some my previous cakes to celebrate birthday month of my son. I named this cake a Black Forest cake. This is my view on this such popular Black Forest cakes, but without eggs, without dairy and without any harmful ingredients. So I hope it will be a very excited cake for you. I hope you will enjoy the taste, and let's get started. Before starting making this cake, you need to make a sponge. I made a sponge using one of the videos from the channel. It's a chocolate sponge based on quinoa flour. Absolutely wholesome, very delicious and chocolate sponge. Very easy to make it and easy to bake it in any oven. I made it yesterday, and right now we need just to cut it into two quite tall sponges. This is my sponge cutter, and I want to show you that I set on the second point my blade. So here you are, this is first, second, and if we try to measure it with centimeters, it will be almost 2 centimeters, almost 2, a little bit less, but 2 centimeters is totally okay, or it's like 3/4 of inch. Here you are. Also, I want to tell you that I'm going to assemble my cake into 6 inches cake ring. So honestly, it's the same ring that I used to bake this sponge. So let's recut this sponge. Here you are, our absolutely beautiful texture. I know that a lot of people tried this sponge and it worked, and it was delicious in their opinion. Second sponge you need to cover with a plastic wrap again and put into refrigerator. We will be using it in about 4 or 5 hours. So that's why we don't need to have it on our counter. Now we have our mold. We will be using it to assemble our cake and our sponge. Also, I highly suggest you to put acetate strip inside of your mold, so it will be easier to remove the cake and to have ideal borders. Let's make our Black Forest cream. Let's talk about ingredients for our Black Forest cream. So first of all, the base is our cashews. We soaked them overnight, we rinsed them, and they have a completely white color. They absorbed a lot of water, and this is perfect. This is our base. The second main ingredient of this cake is a fresh coconut meat of Thai coconuts. This ingredient gives us fluffy texture for our final cream. However, if such happens that you can't find young coconut, please use the same amount of coconut butter, not cashew, so coconut butter. And here you are, my coconut butter. So you will need to add additional coconut butter to that is mentioned in the recipe. So here's my coconut butter. It is quite soft. I warm it up using a double boiler method, and you have a video how to work with coconut butter and coconut oil. You can find it here. So it's very important to have it in room temperature and soft. So we're going to use fresh coconut meat, coconut butter, also almond butter. It's like a trick of this recipe, so please find almond butter without any additions into the list of ingredients, or make your oven. It would be also perfect, and you will see that the taste will be amazing. Also half cup of cherries. If you're going to use frozen cherries, please defrost them and remove any water, any liquid, any juice. So we need just this is my defrosted sweet cherry. cherries. Also sweetener, you can use maple syrup, agave nectar, honey, yacon syrup, a little bit of coconut oil. It is already melted, so you need to have this texture of coconut oil. Water, I'm going to add some water to help everything to be blended. What next? We need high-speed blender. We put all these ingredients into high-speed blender and mix. And these two ingredients, coconut butter and coconut oil, we're going to add only when these ingredients will be blended into completely smooth texture. Let's do it. Great, we have right now absolutely smooth consistency. I will show you. So there is no any nuts and it looks perfect. Now we're going to add coconut butter and coconut oil, but first we're going to add coconut oil. So here you are, this is our cream. You can see the texture. It looks absolutely smooth and beautiful. One more tip, and it is absolutely optional for this recipe. So you may see that the color of our cream is like something like neutral, something like more beige, and we used to see Black Forest cream more like with a red shade. So to get natural red shade, we need to add, of course, beet juice, and it's perfect if you have a possibility to juice our fresh raw beet and get beet juice. In case you don't have a juicer or you don't want to use it just for like 1-2 tablespoons, I will show you how I get a small amount of juice using like a few tools, a small blender and a bag for making nut milk. So first we need to shred our raw beet. We put it into a small blender. Okay. And let's blend. So we made a beet puree right now, and please do not add any water. It's important. And now let's squeeze. You may see that we already have about 2 tablespoons of beet juice. Perfect. We can put it into our jar to get another color. Now we are ready to assemble our cake. We have our Black Forest cream, we have our sponge, here it is, and we need kitchen scales. If for you important to have a perfect cut and even layer, so we need kitchen scales. The only one thing that I would suggest to do is to make foil bottom if you use stainless steel ring. So here you are, we have our ring. I still have acetate strip inside, here is it, and I move my sponge here. So put your sponge in the middle of your mold, so this is important. Now we need kitchen scale, and we need to pour 320 grams of our cream. So here you are. Make it a little bit more flat using spatula, but do not tap, especially if you have a ring like me, because it will go out from the bottom. Perfect. Now we need to freeze it. We need to freeze it completely, so our cream should be quite hard. Leftovers of the cream we cover with the plastic wrap. We can leave it in the jar, it's totally okay. Let's make our hidden jelly. So because it is hidden filling and we made a cake into 6 inches mold, so it's essential that our filling will have smaller size. So that's why I have right now 5 inches mold. I also put acetate strip. And one more tip, we need to prevent possible leaking of our jelly. So what I'm going to do, so we need plastic wrap. And now we need to wipe our borders with the water. So here you are, you may see that I have a little bit of water. And now we just create a bottom using a plastic wrap. If you do it even first time ever and you never pour a very liquid agar mixture into the mold, we can also create foil bottom in addition to our plastic wrap. Let's talk about ingredients. So I'm going to use pure tart cherry juice. There is no any sweeteners inside and it's perfect. Also, because I'm going to use tart cherry juice, I'm going to add a little bit of maple syrup for flavor balance, and the main ingredient is agar powder. Let's get started. We need a small saucepan that we put on the stove and we will boil. Now we pour 250 milligrams of juice, great, and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. Now we need to add 1 tablespoon of agar powder. I will be using a sieve, so I will be adding my agar powder step by step. And now we need to boil it. Once we reach the boiling point, I will set 1 minute and we're going to boil our mixture 1 minute. During 1 minute, our agar will be activated, and it means we will get the jelly at the end. So this is very important. So here you are, my mixture is starting boiling. I set 1 minute. And I return it to boil, but be very careful, it shouldn't go out like milk. And stir it all the time, the whole this minute. So here you are, our mixture boiled for about 1 minute, a little bit more. Honestly, we need our timer anyway, so now I set about 4-5 minutes and I will be waiting until my mixture becomes not so hot to pour into this mold. So here you are, it was about 5 minutes and let's pour it here. Slowly. Great, and now let's add a little bit of our cherries. You saw I didn't defrost them. And just put them somewhere you want. They will be like swimming inside, but it's totally okay. Great. Now I move my mixture very carefully, so do not shake it very much because it will leave, change the shape, leave the spots on the walls. So I leave it in the freezer for about 30 minutes. And I see that in 30 minutes I will be able to take my hidden filling and my cake, and we'll continue to assemble. Let's make a chocolate cream for frosting. For this we need again cashews that were soaked and rinsed, raw cacao powder. Please find high quality raw cacao powder. I prefer it from Peru. It gives amazing chocolate flavor. Maple syrup, vanilla extract, a little bit of salt, plant-based milk. It can be any plant-based milk that you prefer. Here I have leftovers from my young coconut. It can be around 30-50 grams. So if you used a whole coconut, you put only 60 grams into our first layer of black forest cream, you may have leftovers. So here you are. You can use it into this recipe, or again you can substitute it to coconut butter. And of course here you are our coconut butter, coconut oil already melted, and cacao butter. This is a very important ingredient that will give stability for our cream. We need to melt it using a double boiler method. So here you are, I'm going to melt it. You remember we left our black forest cream into the jar. Honestly, I have 2 jars, so for me it's convenient to make a chocolate mousse right now while I'm waiting for setting my cream in the freezer. You have 2 options. You can pour this cream into any bowl and cover, and you will use that bowl to pour into the mold. Second option, you can wait while you assemble the cake. You will completely assemble the cake. You will clean this jar and make a batch of chocolate cream for frosting. It's completely up to you. This frosting we're going to use only tomorrow because we need to wait while our cake will be fully assembled and stayed into the fridge overnight, and also we will need our cream to settle in the fridge overnight as well. So this is 2 options. Things are like usual. We put our soaked cashews, our fresh coconut meat, sweetener, cacao powder, plant-based milk, vanilla extract, and salt. Coconut oil, coconut butter, and cacao butter we will add at the end. Let's blend. Now slowly I'm adding coconut oil, and I will show you that my cacao butter is melting, so it needs some more time, some more minutes. And also I will add coconut butter right now. And we just wait for cacao butter. I would say it is already melted. Ready. I will show you how silky and beautiful this cream. This is absolutely amazing chocolate cream for frosting. We pour all cream into the piping bag and leave it in the refrigerator until frosting our cake. It will be tomorrow. Refrigerated. Let's put our hidden filling, but before we do it, I want to extend my acetate strip. You remember that I used 3 inches acetate strip, and now I see that my cake will be taller, so I have one more strip of this acetate strip. And we just need to put it between the acetate strip, the lower layer of acetate strip, and the board of our ring or cake mold. So here you are. It should be easy to insert it inside. So you can see now I have like taller mold to assemble our cake. So let's see what we have here. As I told you, it's easy to press it from the bottom. You can see that we had some leaking. It's okay. Gently we remove our bottom. Yes, this is what I wanted to achieve. We remove our acetate strip. We need to put it inside, in the middle. Just I want to also emphasize that my cream is hard. So when I press it, so when I touch it, it's hard. It's important. And we try to put it in the middle. Great. Now is the goal to pour our cream just between our filling and the cake mold and create one even layer. Okay, we have it on our filling, but we can move it from our jelly. You may see that now we have one flat layer of jelly and cream. And now we need our kitchen scale. And this is the trick how we create even layers between, like above and below our jelly cream. If you remember, when we pour the first layer, we pour only 320 grams of cream. We will do the same right now. Here you are. Let's create like one layer. And let's put our last sponge. We can slightly insert it. Here you are. Make sure that it is flat. Any leftovers that we have, we can pour on top of this cake, and I prefer to do it from the corners. So for today we finished. We assemble our cake, we made our frosting that we will be using tomorrow. Now I move this cake to refrigerator for overnight chilling. By the way, you can freeze it as well for up to like 1 week, 10 days. It can be stored in the freezer, and then you can frost it with our chocolate cream. But I will chilling it in the refrigerator until tomorrow.